Hello, this is the Running Man. This story is about Jay Johnson. Jay Johnson was a traveling salesman. Jay Johnson, he went all over the country trying to sell and buy uh, jewelry, pretty much what he sold. So Jay had went down to the Monterey Hotel in El Paso, Texas. He checks into the room at the Monterey. The butler comes up and grab his luggage and bring him up to his room. So as Jay checks into goes to his room, he goes open the door and closes the door behind him. He's got this beautiful suite, and then he goes down and after he puts his luggage up, he tips the butler $20. And so I went downstairs uh, to the bar. He loved to drink. And so he wanted a drink. So he said, the bartender said, Jay, what would you have? He says, scotch with water back. So I got a scotch and water back and was drinking his drink and enjoying himself in the atmosphere and all the pretty girls. And he's looking all around. And so these three guys, they offered him. As they came up to him, one stranger said, "Would you like to play some pool with us?" And being that Jay was the pool was his favorite pastime. He went and he said, "Sure." I took him on as they played pool. So the guys just playing pool, enjoying themselves and having fun. And I got to talking and so Jay asked one of the strangers. He asked Jay, he said, "Where are you from?" He said, "I'm from Chicago." And he said, "I could tell you wasn't from here." See, Jay, he had this Chicago style with the black and white pinstripe suits and with the hats, the Dob hats to match and ties, and he had that swagger in his walk, pretty much like President Obama had. But anyway, so so they shot some pool and so the guys they liked Jay. They sat back at the bar after the games and offered Jay some drinks, and all the guys was buying him rounds and rounds of drinks, and he wouldn't let him spend a dime on anything. So one of the strangers said, "Hey man, um, I got this business," and he said, "How would you like to make about $500,000?" He said, "I could use someone like you. You got that swagger, that walk, and you're clean, you're well dressed, and guys like you, you won't be compromising in any kind of way. We can use someone like you." So Jay said, "Well, what would I have to do?" And he said, "Well, why don't you meet me tomorrow uh, at 10th and Fullerton? It's a black building there right there on the corner of 10th and Fullerton. We can meet there, and then I'll give you all the details. But I must tell you, tell you, would you like to make $500,000? That's the main thing." And he said, "Sure." He said, then he got to thinking. He said, "Wow, well maybe this can help my jewelry business." Because he was kind of hurting his jewelry. He looked good, dressed good, had the swagger and everything, but his business was hurting. His, his wife was carrying had more of the jewelry than he was selling. So he's trying to make her happy. She wearing most of the jewelry. He's trying to sell jewelry and buy more jewelry, and people ordering jewelry, and he just can't keep up, and his business is hurting. So, being that said, Jay decided to say, he said, "Well, yeah, yes, I do." And so he went down initially to meet a client, but the client wasn't paying $500,000, nowhere near. But that's why he made the trip. So anyway, he went there, and the next day, 10 o'clock, he went down and he met uh, Rocky. Rocky was the stranger's name. So Rocky was there. He walked up, and there was Rocky. He said, "Hey, Jay, it's good to see you. I'm glad you made it here." So Jay said, "Well, come on." He said, "Okay." He said, "Come on, let's come on inside." So when they stepped inside, this building, it was all black on the outside. It was kind of nice looking, but it was just a black building and had the lights and everything around it. But inside was all kind of big screens and television monitors and everything, and horses screen, the gambling, and just all kind of illegal things going on there, even drugs that was being handled there. So Jay, I asked him. He said, Rocky. He said, well, so what are you? What kind of business? What is it that you would want me to do here? And he said, well, I tell you. He said, I would like for you to we're running numbers. I said, nobody knows about this operation. And once one that gets into this operation or anything knows anything about this operation, you can't get out of it. Okay, so Jay said, no. I said, I'm not doing anything like that. He said, are you crazy? He said, I thought you was a businessman. I mean, well, maybe not this kind of businessman, but legit the businessman. And so Jay, he said no, he couldn't do it. So he's headed out the door. And then all of a sudden, Rocky pulls out his gun and bam, hit him, knocks him out. And his guys, he said, grab him and drag him downstairs and in the basement. So they grabbed him drag him downstairs and put him in the basement. And then they tied him up. And so Rocky told his boys, he said, now this guy, we met him playing pool, but he could be anybody. Really, he could be setting us up. He could tell on us. So we can't permit that to happen. No. We cannot permit that to happen. So Rocky said, well, I'll tell you what, let's see if we can change his mind. And so he said, how you going to, we going to see if we can change his mind? We're going to beat the hell out of him and change his mind. That's what we're going to do. And so they started beating up beating up Jay. And Jay could hear him, bam, bam, hitting him. And Jay said, is that all you got? Is that all you got, punk? And so they kept beating him and knocked him out again. And so they went upstairs and left him there. He was tied up in his old drafty basement. And so as being tied up there in the basement, he finally came to. And he had a little pocket knife. They didn't check his pockets or anything like that. But see, so he had a pocket knife, and he was able to get out of his pocket. And he would manage to cut himself loose. And so being so disgruntled, being so upset onto what happened, like he was so mad, he just changed. Rocky was this mild-mannered salesman. Dude, he was a lover, not a fighter, And so, anyhow, he went there and managed to climb out of the basement or the window there, and he rose back to the hotel. Gets to the hotel, gets to his room, clean himself up, go back and pretty much puts on another suit with a hat to match. Jay was that kind of guy. He was just a clean type of guy. So he changed the clothes and then he comes back. He comes back to the hotel and goes back in the basement, pretend like he's knocked out. And the thing about it, Rocky and his boys, they hadn't even been back down in the basement. They was still upstairs, running their racket. And so they come downstairs, and Rocky said, "Didn't this? He's still knocked out, but I thought Jay had on this guy. He had on a black pinstripe suit. That's a blue pinstripe suit that he has on." Maybe there was the light or something. Maybe it was the light. But Rocky told his boys, he said, "Look, we got to dispose of this guy. He may tell on us." So I said, "Okay." So they went to grab Rocky. They grabbed him by the shoulders, pulled him up. Rocky went in and pulled out his gun. Bam, 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 bam. And he kills them all. Wow. puts his gun up. And he
didn't go back out through the window.
he went out through the door and walking down the street, whistling like nothing ever happened. He gets back to the hotel, goes back to his room, put the gun up again, then come downstairs to the bar. He said, "Bartender." He said, "Yeah, what do you be having?" The bartender says, "Scotch with water back."